Welcome to the Midwest Anime Podcast, your number one destination for all things anime and animation. And on behalf of our hosts, Kaleb and Andrew, welcome to the show.
There we go. We're back.
How do we do this?
It's been
What's a podcast?
It's been a month.
Who's a podcast?
We're back.
Are we allowed to have this still? Is the government coming after us? Oh wait, they're more worried about dipshits.
Area 51.
Yep.
Naruto running.
Those weebs. They'll get in there.
We should have them on the show. I mean,
they have to. For America's sake.
they should listen to our show.
They should listen to our show. And you should listen to our show, and you already are, technically. So, share with your friends. Get more people involved. The more people who listen, the more likely we are to...
We'll keep doing shows anyway.
Don't tell them that.
But it'll help. We've already told them that.
That's fair. Over the years, we've
Yeah.
laid out wisdom and desire, and
We've also started a list of anime we will not be talking about.
it's a pretty easy list.
Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. In other words, the really long ones.
The ones that we'll spend literally 6 years trying to catch up on, only to find out we only got through season 2.
I mean, we could do the Chunin exams for Naruto.
How many episodes is that? 50?
We could do the best fights from the Chunin exams.
No.
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 Alright.
I watched enough weeb
it's
action
just
of
a-
people pretending to do leaf hurricane.
It's just enough. It's just an idea.
I watched enough weebs trying to do leaf hurricanes in the backyard.
If you could have, I wish you would have taken a video of that.
Well, those are back in the days before phones could take videos.
I know. That's why I said if you could have. Because that'd be awesome.
Well...
Post it on Twitter. Tag 1041 in. 1041 the plays in it.
That'd be magic. Welcome in. We're here to finish out our Avatar the Last Airbender playthrough. The good days are now
What are we, a
upon us.
gaming channel?
Yeah, the playthrough. Is that not what we call it now? Watch through? Rewatch? Replay? Replay sounds like sports. Rewatch makes...
Playthrough is a gaming thing.
Okay, well, I don't know, what the hell are we supposed to call it?
Viewing?
Viewing makes it sound like we were at a funeral. Because isn't the viewing the day before and then the actual ceremony a funeral? It's not a ceremony. No, nothing positive is that. Okay, never mind.
The actual funeral is the next day?
That's what that's called? Oh. I just thought everyone who died was named funeral.
Shut up. Anyway.
What if funeral is just the
You guys know what we mean.
What if...
We're finishing up watching.
One last thought on this whole funeral thing.
Okay.
What if funeral is just the deity of death, and so it's a funeral for... So, like, they're always, like, the body is being sacrificed to the funeral god? I'm just putting ideas
Anyway,
out there.
we just finished watching Avatar the Last Airbender.
Book 3.
Mm-hmm.
The final book.
Indeed.
The last book that matters in any series on Nickelodeon ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've officially decided that the Avatar the Last Airbender movie, made by M. Night Shyamalan, was just an Ember Island Players spoof.
Yes.
Because...
It's just accurate enough.
It's just accurate enough. It's the art used on the flyer that Sokka presents in the Ember Island Players episode. The painting is almost exactly what is used for the
M. Night Shyamalan movie?
the book. The movie art, the box art for the M. Night Shyamalan movie. So
let's dive into this. So, the most important piece, the piece de resistance, the thing that was going to destroy the Fire Nation on its darkest day, the day of Black Sun, the eclipse. We've been building up for it for 2 seasons, and we're ready to go.
the invasion, y'all,
Right?
didn't work.
Because Sokka can't keep his mouth shut. I'm kidding. It's all the Earth King's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know back from...
But he's never seen again. So
But we know back
in the show
from book 2, when they get the Earth King's help, he then spills the beans.
he blabs to who he thinks are the Kyoshi warriors,
But are reality Azula, May, and Ty Lee.
Mhm.
And that's when it all comes crashing down. And so we
Correct.
get to the invasion, an elegantly thought out plan by Sokka, who doesn't know how to talk publicly to anybody.
So his dad
Hakoda does the most of the leading part. Which is fair, because Sokka's only 15, 16, 17, I don't know how old he is.
You know, Hakoda's been leading for
his entire
a few years.
Adult life.
Yeah.
Not only leading in battle, but he was also, I'm pretty sure, their tribe chief, isn't he not?
I would think so.
Maybe they don't have a chief. Maybe they're just like a...
No, because in Korra they do.
Well, in Korra...
They have separate leaders for the North and the South.
Yeah, but that's after...
Because Korra's dad is the...
after the South Pole gets revamped, though.
Well, yeah, but you'd think that they would still have some semblance of a government within...
Which would go back to the theory you put out earlier, when we were talking, about how Korra could possibly be Sokka's granddaughter.
Because family lineage would be most important in succession of chief.
Mm-hmm.
And Korra's dad, I believe, is the leader of the Southern Water Tribe.
Correct.
But you made the good point that you would think that would be brought up.
It would have been directly addressed because Katara is in the show still.
Yeah, she would have mentioned it in passing, or there would have been like a nod to it somewhere.
Right, because...
And maybe it's something we missed. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either, but you know, when we do eventually watch it, because we will, it won't be right after this. We'll announce exactly what's going to happen, which anime we're going to be watching next at the end of this episode.
Later? Oh. This episode?
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I didn't wear pants for this.
I know, it's just hanging out.
Yeah, my shorts are just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just like we're hanging out on my couch.
I know.
So,
we always do it.
The invasion fails.
Uh-huh.
Self to being alive to the world. To only find Azula, who then tricks them into not being able to fight her, which makes everyone cringe. Because how good she is manipulating these toddlers mentally. It's so easy for them to get derailed.
She made it look like child's play.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't even trying to, like...
Correct.
She wasn't even trying to manipulate him, and it worked.
Okay, so, here's the thing about that fight. There was a lot of, like, very unnecessary tension between Azula and Sokka.
Yeah, there was.
As Sokka climbs through the freaking, like, hole in the earthbending wall.
Yeah.
And then they're, like,
flies
face to face, and their eyes...
An inch.
Yeah. And then when, you know, she says something offhand about Suki, he then, you know, puts her up against the wall to interrogate her.
Yeah.
But... I don't know. It's just weird. I don't understand why that vibe was necessary.
I don't either. It wasn't, really. But we're not the creators of the show, so...
Correct. We don't get paid enough. But probably the most interesting thing of all of the invasion is Zuko betraying his father, obviously.
Correct.
But the conversation that happens between the two of them.
Right.
That's the piece that everyone seems to not give enough credence to. Because in that conversation, Zuko not only stands up to his father, so good for him, applause, and then is strong enough to say he's going to join the Avatar and teach him firebending. But
it's also the first, well, really the only mention and pretty much confirmation that Zuko's mother killed Fire Lord Azulon.
And that was a running theory.
Right.
And so that moment really kind of confirms it.
Yeah.
Because you have literally Ozai just lays it out there and says...
He didn't say exactly what she did, but he says she did horrible treasonous things that night.
Yeah, because Ozai was going to have to sacrifice Zuko, basically is what was said.
Right, for embarrassing
and
them.
And then his mother said that she wasn't going to let anything happen to Zuko, and so she hatched a plan that would make Ozai Fire Lord and would get rid of Azulon, and it was horrible, treacherous things, and so she had to be punished appropriately. Banished, yeah. Which brings us...
My guess is that normally it would be put to death.
Right.
But because it was his wife...
Right.
He said, you're banished.
Which is the only two times he shows...
any sort of...
leniency.
Well, the only time, because
True.
he said he was gonna kill Zuko.
Yeah, he overbanishes Zuko. But I think it is just the standard punishment for the Fire Nation, because as we get later into the season, Azula is going to take over as Fire Lord, because Ozai has declared himself Phoenix King.
Correct.
And her response to someone having a cherry pit in there and
Accidentally not taking it out.
yeah. And so she says, I'll be merciful and you're banished.
Right. But
And
that's also being merciful.
That's true. So maybe execution was common, but we don't know.
Yeah. Because it never really talks about it. It only talks about banishment.
And so it leads us to the fact that in Korra, and we'll get to Korra eventually, there's no mention of it, and Zuko is still alive in Korra.
Mm-hmm.
Barely, but yeah.
He's old as shit, but yeah. Just like Katara, just like Toph.
Yeah, and my thing is like...
Sokka apparently isn't alive anymore.
Yeah. But here's my thing is like, how did Sokka and Aang die already? And Korra's like, what, 15? 16?
Yeah.
She's 16 when she finds out, because that's the tradition.
No, she's younger than that.
Well, they all knew she was the Avatar, because she literally
By the time
could do
she's, what,
3?
3?
Yeah,
She
could
can do...
bend 3 of the elements.
Yeah.
And so, when Korra takes place, she's probably, what, 15?
Yeah, when it starts, when she goes to Republic City.
Which means Aang's been dead for at least 15 years.
At least.
Yeah.
Because what is it? When the Avatar... When the
Yeah.
current Avatar dies, the next Avatar is, like, immediately born.
Yeah. And so, that kind of puts the age in perspective, which
Right.
means Zuko, who is older than Sokka,
Uh-huh.
is still kicking. Zuko's got to be 100. Hit that cool hundo.
Maybe. But we also don't know
How old
how
anyone
old
else.
anyone else is.
That's fair. It doesn't say how long since the war it is either,
Yeah, it doesn't...
which would have given us an excellent frame of reference.
Yeah. We also don't know how old Sokka was when he died.
True. Valid as well.
Because, he's bloodbended during the trial of Yakone, if I remember correctly. Yakone bloodbends him.
Yes.
It's entirely possible he dies after that.
Yes. Possible.
I doubt it, but it's entirely possible.
Right.
And he could have lived another 30 years after that, too.
Right, we just don't know.
Yeah.
So, the wonderful thing about this is we now know a little bit more of the lore
Mm-hmm.
regarding it. It got exciting. Obviously, the invasion failed.
Right.
Zuko leaves. They go to the air temple, and everyone gets captured except for the kids, because the kids escaped on Appa.
Correct.
So, basically, it's the 4 main people, plus Pipsqueak. No, it's the Duke. Sorry.
The Duke.
The Duke.
The Mechanist's son. I'm
don't-
drawing a blank on his name.
I don't even know if he is ever named in the show. And then Haru.
I think he is, but I don't remember exactly what it is. And Haru, yes.
And that's it.
Until Zuko comes along.
And then Zuko comes along. They obviously have the "we don't trust you."
The mixed feelings.
The "we don't trust you, we trust you" beautiful moment that nobody gave that much about. That they're all just like... I think the bigger part of it was firebending quote-unquote master fell into their lap, and they did their best
they
choice.
realized that they couldn't not
Yeah.
pass it up because
Who else was going to teach Aang firebending?
they didn't know where Zhang Zhang was. Pretty much every other firebender is either in jail or missing.
Or trying to kill
Or
Aang.
trying to kill them.
And so, Zuko falls in their lap. Everyone has their magical one-on-one field trip with Zuko.
Sokka going to
The Boiling Rock.
saving Suki and his dad and some other random dude who goes with him.
Who then just disappears directly after that.
No, he's in the episode where where Azula attacks them at the air temple.
Really?
He's
I wasn't
he's
paying
sleeping like right next to Hakoda.
I wasn't paying that close attention, I suppose.
Yeah, he's there. But after that, he disappears. I'm guessing he just splits from the group during that time. But yeah,
Which was fine, get a little filler in, give us some nice things to make everyone kind of come together as a group. the cool thing, the best one, is obviously when Zuko and Aang learned the origin of firebending from dragons.
Correct. They learned the dancing dragon.
Which is an elite martial art passed down from centuries.
It's a dance.
Yeah.
It's both.
Yep. Which is always...
It's a dance for people who aren't firebenders.
Yeah, it's cool. We all enjoy it. And, you know... It's
We
one of
learn
those-
how the fact that Iroh's dragon title isn't
True. Technically.
official.
Because he didn't kill the dragon, he found the dragons, and then was deemed worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool that Iroh then proves to be the, dopest human being alive, which we all knew.
Right. Do you think he even had to do the dance to prove worthy?
I don't think he even knew,
You know what I mean?
because that inner sanctuary, remember, was, you had to go on the solstice or trick the light.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so he may have just stumbled into the tribe
Right.
and had to offer up a flame, and he was just deemed worthy by just being himself.
Yeah, because that would have been around the time that he started to become spiritual and the Iroh we know and love.
Yeah.
Of course, then we learn about the White Lotus later on, after the Ember Island players.
Which, the biggest fourth wall break in television.
Did Jet just die? You know, I don't know.
That is unclear. We agree.
Yeah. What was the other one? There was one more.
Oh, now I'm gonna draw a blank as soon as you bring it up.
Yeah, but you have that big moment in there with the obviously it's not true, but the turning of Zuko, the actor Zuko turns on the actor Iroh, and Katara looks at him and goes, "Did you really say that to him?" And he says, "I might as well have."
Right.
Which is this pretty much all of book 3 is Zuko's repentance.
Yeah. It's the redemption tour.
Yeah, and you finally get that in the episode about the White Lotus.
Yeah, where we find out
It got a little misty in here.
the humidifier was broken, obviously.
Yes, it was.
And was just spitting out mad humidity. It was an important moment where you find out that it's like AARP, all old people know each other.
Well, even Boomy's like, "Welcome to old people camp."
Because Boomy's there, Pion Dao, the sword master, if you don't know who that is,
Yeah.
Zhang Zhang, and Paku.
Mm-hmm. Graham,
Gramp.
Gramp, yeah.
Grandpaku. And then, of course, Iroh's there. Then you
As
have
the Grand Lotus.
the magical moment where they reconnect, and it was nice.
Yeah.
Before that happened,
We're not going to talk about it because it's going to get misty in here again.
Before that happened, Aang goes missing.
Right.
And
He's meditating, falls asleep.
because he is forced to do something that everything in his nomad training has taught him not to do, which is harm life.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has to take the Fire Lord's life, and he has to battle with this
Or
internally.
he thinks he does.
Yeah, he battles with it internally, which I think is an important struggle that most people have.
Right.
Do you go against everything you've been taught for the greater good, or is there some way to achieve the greater good,
but while also keeping your own values?
Yes. And so it takes him to find a lion turtle, which...
Or he wakes up on an island.
Right.
After he disappears.
And
or what he thinks is an island.
Yeah, and has conversations with the past 4 avatars.
Where even the airbending avatar was like, you have to do what's best for the world.
Yeah.
You have to stop thinking about yourself
Your
specifically.
Your airbending training means nothing if the world is gone.
Right. And that's when I made the point while he was saying it that should have been it.
Yeah.
That's where he decides. Even the airbender is telling him, if you need to kill him, you need to kill him. And then, of course, like I said, I'm making that point as Aang is stating,
Yeah.
all right, I have to kill him.
And then he finds the actual face of the turtle.
Mm-hmm.
They have a sort of conversation.
The
Enlightens
Principal
him.
Lewis lion turtle.
indoctrinates him with knowledge about
Chakra bending.
other things that he could possibly do. And then, of course, the great battle.
The Agni Kai.
You have 3 things happening simultaneously.
Correct.
All great battles all deserve their own conversations. You have the White Lotus taking back Ba Sing Se.
I would loop that in with Sokka, Toph, and Suki destroying the airships.
Okay.
The Agni Kai.
The Agni Kai. And then, of course, where was Momo this entire time? That's the real questions.
Yeah.
Who cares about the Ozai Aang fight? Where was Momo?
He was with Aang. As long as they have each other, they'll be fine.
And with that, you have the redemption of Iroh taking back Ba Sing Se, because he's
some of the most badass firebending you will ever see.
You see Zhang Zhang making a literal wall of fire, more like a tidal wave of fire.
Iroh's breathing
that caused literally like a death cannon to the frickin' wall. It was ridiculous.
Well, the ring of fire around them that would grow every time he'd breathe in.
Boomy, of course, playing reverse Django with the Fire Nation tanks.
Yeah. And then Paku and
Piandao.
You just said his name and I forgot it.
Slicing and icing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
If we ever do a cooking show,
icing and slicing.
We are coming up with a name for this podcast.
Eventually.
It's in the works. It's being workshopped.
Mm-hmm.
So, eventually, you will know when we have a name because
it'll
change.
It'll be on the thing that you click on.
Yeah. Yeah, the name of our podcast will change. We'll announce it on Twitter, of course.
Yeah, we have one of those, huh?
Yep. Currently, it's at Untitled Anime. That will also change when we...
But if you're following us...
Yeah. Currently, to follow us, it is at Untitled Anime. Give us a follow. Like our stuff. Share it with your friends. This has been your...
Tweet at us things that you want us to watch that aren't Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach.
Anything that's 500 episodes or over.
Anything that's realistic that we could watch and get through.
Yeah.
Things that are already on the docket. We have...
Fairy Tail, Castlevania.
Yep.
One Punch Man.
Yep.
Sword Art Online.
Yep.
Everything Sword Art.
Korra. My Hero.
Did you already say Fairy Tail?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to give you a brief list of things that we're aiming for.
We might watch Black Clover. I might sit you down and watch it. It is still currently going on.
Yeah, well, some of them
a lot of the stuff that we will watch is still currently going on, but we'll kind of update season by season.
Right.
Let's see. There's a few other ones that we'll talk about, and then we have some general topics within anime as a whole instead of show by show.
Right. We'll split this hog however it comes up.
Yeah.
So, as we finish up the battle, you have the moment. You have 2 separate moments where Aang has the ability to end Ozai.
Right.
Of course, first when he redirects lightning.
Right. And you even show the oh fuck face that Ozai gets when he realizes that Aang can redirect lightning.
And then the second is obviously in the Avatar state when he comes down with the literal hammer.
Yeah, and then gets out of the Avatar state once he decides to not kill him. And you have the moment where he's talking to Ozai about why he didn't and stuff like that, and then Ozai tries to attack him, and he uses the techniques of feeling the vibrations in the earth to block Ozai's attack from behind and pin his arms in a cross formation.
And then we get spirity.
Of course. Chakra bending, as I said before, that the lion turtle taught Aang, or energy bending, or whatever you want, taking his bending away.
Right.
We'll put it as simply as that.
I'm pretty sure it's a form of bloodbending?
No, it's energy. Because they said you can bend the energy of somebody else
True.
as long as your own spiritual energy is unbendable.
I'm just thinking back to...
Or else you'll be corrupted and destroyed.
I'm thinking forward to...
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Who is also a waterbender.
Uh-huh.
So, we'll talk about it when it comes up in Korra.
Correct.
Because this is not the last time we'll see someone taking bending away.
Nope. We'll see Aang do it once more in Korra.
Yep.
Anyway, and then of course we have the closure of Aang and Katara at the very end. Them all in Iroh's tea shop.
With Zuko serving tea as the Fire Lord.
Yeah. Well, it's more of a family get together.
Yeah.
Where they're all kind of. It's probably one of those things where like he was like, I'll do this one last time for Uncle Iroh.
Right.
And we were talking that you would have to think for the rest of his life, Iroh kind of acts as a pseudo advisor to Zuko, more of a spiritual advisor than a spiritual one. You know, he most likely still runs the tea shop out of Ba Sing Se.
And that's what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, and then, but of course, Zuko would always go to him for any questions anything he needed help with.
I think the more accurate, how I envision it, is more of that group becomes almost the council of the world, basically. Like, that group, including Iroh, is part of the decision-making.
It's like a UN of sorts.
Yeah, in partnership with the White Lotus. Actually
works.
Useful.
Yeah.
And they'll work together and consolidate and create Republic City, which will be in Korra, and all the other fun stuff regarding that. Overall, the ending is kind of quick.
Yeah.
It's not really a great resolution on all the things that happened.
No, you don't find out what happened to Zuko's mom.
Right.
He asks Ozai.
Yep.
You end with the question. Of course, there's some material afterwards, like little mini comics that help explain some of the stuff that happens after, like directly after. But other than that, we don't really know.
And then we get the end result, which is Korra.
Right.
Man, that took a while.
It did.
Quite a trek.
So the next anime we are planning on doing, I believe we decided on Castlevania.
Correct.
The Netflix original.
Because it's quite bingeable.
It is quite bingeable. It'll be one of the first, if not the only one we do that's based off of something that's not a comic book or a manga. It is based on the video game series of the same name.
That I definitely did not know existed.
I knew it existed. I did not play it, but I know most of the story from the anime.
Right.
We'll talk about it season by season, kind of what all this stuff means. You know, talk about it historically.
Right.
With all the stuff that happens with the church within it, and you know, we won't spoil anything here. You will have to tune in next time.
And start watching Castlevania, because y'all better be ready.
For those that don't, there will be a spoiler warning.
It's on Netflix. Come on.
Yeah.
Everyone knows somebody with a Netflix password.
Yeah.
Take my co-host, for example, who has my Netflix password.
And
I have your Funimation, and I know, it's a fair deal. Equal exchange.
And we'll... Is that a tease to the anime we're going to watch after Castlevania?
No.